Stephen, many congratulations. We got the Desert Classic champion again.
Thank you very much.
Didn't make it easy, did you?
I never do. I never do anything easy, I'm afraid. What a day. My emotions are gone. I'm a nervous wreck. It's one of those ones I never really played the front line that well all week. And it was a carbon copy yesterday, apart from I hold a couple of putts for par and got a bit luckier yesterday, but today I was in bushes and trees and stuff. But I just kept saying to myself, stay patient. I played the back nine well, and no one was really running away with it at the time, so the rest is history.
And just sum up quickly what it means, obviously. It's a very special edition of 25th.
Yeah, well, see, when
first man to defend.
To win it once, when you look at the guys who have won it, it's brilliant. And then to win it the 25th anniversary with, it's a good field with all the champions playing, makes it even more special.
Better than a good field. Good.
Stevie, what was the key? Just patience and confidence in the back nine?
I think the key was I hold a putt at 11 for birdie, hit a nice shot in there. I was disappointed not to birdie 10, and then I looked at the leaderboard and I was tied for the lead. With 7 to go, and I thought, well, it's not a bad spot to be in considering. So it's almost start from fresh from there.
Just don't want to dominate the questions, but just one other thing. When you're coming up at 18, did you know that a par was going to be good enough?
Yeah.
Were you told that by someone? Or?
No, I walked forward and had a look at the board.
And
You
that
left
was
your
that.
scoreboard out
Yeah.
at the screen?
Yeah.
Hence the decision to lay up.
Well, no, I didn't really have a good drive. I kind of knew 15 was in, but I didn't really. I had that. It was if I needed to do it, I had to hit a proper freewood to get it over there. So it was a touch and go one anyway. If I really needed to, I could have hit freewood, but I just hit 9 instead, and then middle wedge. And that little rain was the only backspin I've had all week, and then my heart was in my mouth for a second. Just that little rain for a little slope and a wee bit grain, it just shows you. Because I tried to leave myself a number, I left myself the perfect number that didn't spin, and it did spin. So I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to be stone dead, but there you go.
Really?
Stevie, Tim Barter alluded to in an interview that you've moved up inside the top 50 of the world rankings, and we work out you've moved to about 37. Probably it's not sinking in yet, but what does it mean now to sort of get into the match play, the Cadillac, 24 metres?
Well, brilliant, isn't it? That was my goal, to try and I was into the RAL and I'm into the Open, and the key was to try and get into all the big events, the majors. If your aspirations to play the Ryder Cup, it's pretty hard to get in and not playing them. But you need to do well in them, obviously. But getting away to a fast start was crucial as well. So I'm delighted with it. It's all good to plan so far.
Just one other thing, Jack sort of took it in his stride, but your little daughter looked pretty emotional, was she?
Yeah, well, she normally goes to the creche, you see. So, but I think she walked a bit at the back nine. And she's normally in the creche helping out, looking after the babies and stuff, and my son's the one, he's an old cat now, isn't he? He walks around and he knows the score. So he's probably expecting me to win it because I won it last year.
Yeah,
so
same
that's what we're doing.
Same thing you did last year?
Yeah, well, no, but yeah, it was great for my mum and dad and the family here, it was nice. Well,
Stephen, the start was a carbon copy of last year. How important was what happened last year as the round went on today in terms of keeping it going?
Well, so many similarities to last year, it was unbelievable. It rained the last round, so the lead got into it, pretty much similar to the Saturday I had last year, getting off to the same start, and then having a rally at the back nine. I just kept on saying to myself, I know I could play the back nine good, and nobody was racing ahead. That was the key. If somebody had come out of the traps quick and I had off to a bad start, it would maybe have been a bit different. But
Black and grey would be the lucky last day colours every tournament, or just keep it for here?
well, it's the only thing that was Ireland, to be honest. But it wasn't the same colour of grey trousers, so I'm not really that superstitious. But black top, I like wearing black in the last day.
Steve, shift it.
That's you. Sorry. You can hear me, can't you?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that this is an easy thing to get your head around, but we've been looking at Google Maps, and you grew up 37 miles from where the Ryder Cup's going to be staged. I think you can finally start maybe entertaining that possibility after all this time.
Well, I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself, but certainly with my uncle played it 8 times, captained it 3, and vice captained it 2. So it's pretty much all I grew up watching and stuff. And then, you know, when it's 37 miles for the house, and my generation, it's never going to be in Scotland again. So it's always been a long-term goal of mine to play the A-Ryder Cup. It's just so happens that the best spell I'm having is the one when it's in Scotland. So, but there's 7 months to go and a lot of golf to be played and a lot of good golf needed to get into it. So yeah, that's my long-term goal, but the short-term is to try and get into all these big events, and then you need to play well in them as well to amass the points to give Paul a headache.
That's where all the money is.
Yeah, definitely.
You,
Steve, I think it's been said a lot that your talent hasn't always been matched by how much you've won and what you've done, and you see being your most talent, what your record would show, and that's changing now. Do you agree with that? And if so, why do you think that's changed in recent times?
I don't know. I've just started to put a bit better, to be honest. I've always played well and struck the ball well, you know. It's hard to win, you know. I've put myself in positions to win. And the crucial one was last year, getting the second one, I think, for so long. I've been working hard on my game, obviously, all the time. Worked with Bob and worked with a few other guys, and been helped with fitness guys as well. You know, it's more like a team effort. I've tried to see what every part of my game that needs improving, and I've tried to get the right person in to help for every short game, chipping, putting, my fitness, my long game, everything. So there's a lot of people involved, but it's just a case of being comfortable in the positions, I think, trying to get yourself into contention and then being comfortable there. That's what the top guys do all the time. They're in contention, it just becomes the norm.
Because mentally out there, you can see it very strong.
Yeah, I just look after the process, you know. I don't try and, I can only hit one shot as good as I can, and where it goes is just down to how you accept it. You know, if you accept where it one ends up and then start again, just try and do the best shot you can hit for there. It's hard to do, but when you get it going, that's when you can get on runs and things like that, like yesterday.
Joy.
Stephen, when you were on the 17th tee, you were tied for the lead at that moment with Pillow. Were you aware of that? And did that in any way put any doubts in your mind that you should not hit the driver that you went for?
I think there was 2.5 million reasons going through my mind why I hit driver. It wasn't, if I had a 6-shot lead maybe, but not I didn't really know, to be honest. There was no board there. I knew I was tied or close to it. The shot was to hit driver anyway. To get it, you could get it on the front edge or get it on the green. So it was just my game plan was just to hit driver anyway.
Steve, were you surprised with the way the score stagnated and bunched?
Yeah, it was a bit. Well, to be honest, the greens firmed up today, and they were obviously last day flags. The wind was a bit up, started to rain a bit, so it wasn't easy. But there was only there was Rory, and then there was a couple of guys, and then there was a sort of 4-shot difference. So there was a lot of good scores from the guys just below us, but the 4 or 5 guys right next to me, I don't think broke 70, so that helps. But you know, you can only deal with what happens at the time, and that's what I've done.
Joe.
Stevie, how big a dream is this to be for you?
Well, any golfer that's never played it, I've had the opportunity to play it, but I said I would never go unless I got in a tournament, so I'm delighted at my age that I can go now. Yeah, I mean, I watched it as a kid when I was all the way through, and it's always been you know, we used to get it on a terrestrial TV and everything like that, and it was just a tournament you looked for, you got allowed to watch. When I was a young kid, I think I can remember Sandy Lyle and Woozy and all these guys were the couples, Fred couples back in the day. So I'd love to, I'm delighted that hopefully I've done well enough to get into it. It's definitely one of my dreams to play in Augusta.
Obviously very level-headed, Stephen, and not wanting to get ahead of yourself, but having played with Tiger twice this week and Rory 3 times and more than held your own, and you're here with another title, I mean, career high ranking, your confidence must be sky high at the moment.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. I was pleased with the way I played the first couple of days, and that, you know, it was the first time I've played since Tiger for the Walker Cup, apart from Tuesday. And you know, all you guys cutting about inside the ropes, it's hard to sort of putting us off all the time. But it's definitely hard to. It's a different level of intensity, and it's one that you just got to get used to. Thankfully, I was playing well enough to just get on with my game and enjoy it. You know, and that's first and foremost was I enjoyed playing with both of them. Felt that like you belong and you want to play with them. So that's a nice feeling as well. And they're both normal guys as well. You know, both great to play with.
Stephen, how important has the 13th hole been in the 2 successes here? What is it about that hole that you seem to have loved standing on the tee?
Well, when you're fighting a hook all day and there's a right 90-degree dogleg left, it's pretty. I can hit it as hard as I want, because I'm not going to hit it right. I came in practice. One of the things I've done here was I practiced a lot for the last 2, because I don't generally have. I'm quite a low ball flighter, but I've worked hard to get the ball up. And one of the things I do there is just you need to get it up high and hook it. And if you hit a high hook, you're hitting that like I hit wedge in yesterday. I've hit 7 iron today, so it's a par 5 that you can capitalise with a good drive. So it's worth the hit.
Jock, finishing off.
Stephen, you say your patience was very impressive today, and you say that you look after the process shot for shot. Have you always been like that as a golfer, or have you had help in any respect on the mental side?
Yeah, I've had help. Well, I don't work with a psychologist or anything, but I've read a few books and I've spoken to a few people who are, and ultimately that's all you can do, is just look after. If you have 100% clarity and commitment to every shot, it's then it's down to the acceptance levels. If your acceptance levels are brilliant, you can give a chance of getting a score. If your acceptance levels are poor, well, forget it.
Any particular book is there? Any particular book you have read?
No, it's nothing really. It's just been on the tour for 20 years or whatever, knowing that if I get angry, I play crap, and if you don't get angry, you do alright. You know what I mean? It's pretty black and white.
Hello, Jock.
Could write the book.
Kev, last one, please.
Stephen, I wonder if you could give us your view on Rory's game. He came here, brilliant first round, and kind of struggled a bit since then. You've been up close, so what do you think?
Well, his first round was unbelievable. I shot 66 and he was like shooting 75. He's just got, even Tiger was saying, for such a slight guy, hits it so far. His ball flight is just phenomenal. I've never played with anybody who flights it as good as him, such high penetrate. I think he's, he obviously, it's hard to emulate the year he had before. And last year he still won and he's still in the world, and people think that's a slump. So, but I think he'll be contending Tiger for the #1 spot. He's a class player.
David, congratulations again. Thank you.